Hello, rail friends. Thanks for being with Casey and I for Trackside after work here at Bootleggers Crossing. So, we're going to finish getting ready. You finish getting set. And we're going to have a fun time at the old Bootleggers Crossing tonight. Hey everybody, how are y'all tonight? Thanks for being trackside with Casey and I, and we are at Bootleggers Crossing. You probably already recognized it. And oh, you gotta love the smell of creosote tonight. We're 80 degrees today, and all those piles, there's a slight breeze coming this way. It's like working on the railroad. Whew! But if the stinky train comes by tonight, maybe the creosote smell will outdo the stinky Pete train. So we got a couple more things to do. For those of you who just said, Mike, you're really running late tonight, you're right. I am. So we're on. Let's have some fun. Call up your friends. Tell them to hop on. We can chat. Let me know who all's on, and we'll go from there. Give me a couple more minutes, couple more things to do. We will be ready to roll. And while the sun, if you've not been here before, while the sun is currently behind a cloud over there, there's the cab I just got out of. Cab door, I should say. As you can see, the sun's behind the door there. Let me start that whole thing over there. As you can see, the sun is behind a cloud, and that is looking towards Chattanooga. Thought we'd come up here just for a change of venue, at least when you're up, or a couple different contrasts for up here as opposed to over by the water tower. We're next to the cemetery, so you get to hang out with all the spirits from current, past, and present. And the deer and the squirrels come through here frequently. This is also a point where we have talked when traffic coming out of Chattanooga needs to either go up the Knoxville West End or south on the Atlanta North District. A lot of times the trains hold right where you're looking. So it's not unusual to see a train here for half an hour or longer. Kind of like at the other end when they're coming down Knoxville West End and they've got to sit there and wait, as you've seen before. And that is a private driveway. Y'all give me just a moment, I'll be right back. And like as I was saying, that is a private drive. That used to be a road that went through there. That's Woodhaven Lane, but it no longer is open to the public road. It goes up to some residences that, because of all the tree cover, now that everything is bloomed and what have you, you get just a beautiful backdrop for a train. I mean, it is just a wall of beautiful green. And at this point, this becomes the Knoxville West End and runs on into Chattanooga. After the signal tower, and because it's so bright out at the moment and those signals are turned, would be to the right from where we are looking at them because of the curves back there. We won't see those until the sun goes down considerably further. So right now, it's kind of, what do we get next? So that's why we're going to depend on everybody that's out tonight trackside to let us know what's coming. Just in case Mrs. S is on, before you ask, yes, I have the hat on. So we are good there. We have a gazillion little bugs floating around in the air here. Don't know if you can see them. They are tiny little fellers. And over to the left, where we were talking, is the Ottawa Cemetery. We are also on a dead-end road here. So if you get any traffic that goes past here, you can almost guarantee you're going to see them come back, and they have a license plate not from here. This is a huge cemetery, and they do an incredible job of keeping it up. And looks like they were mowing today because we've got fresh grass out here on the roadway and leaves. So, for the moment, just because of how bright it is to the right, we're going to kind of stay looking over this way. There you go. And let me get a monitor on, and let's see who's on with us tonight. And today has been one of those incredibly non-stop busy days. So, I don't even know if we've got something exciting coming. It could be right around the corner. Unless you guys tell me tonight, I wouldn't know. That's how busy it's been. So, let's get set and situated. And that noise you hear, at this point, we are only about maybe a half a mile from Interstate 75 at exit 11. And at the moment, we're checking the Heritage app. Let's see if there's anything newsy there. The Pennsylvania just came through Trenton, Georgia. 9 minutes ago, you guys. Trenton, Georgia, coming north 9 minutes ago on 61C. Going on up to Indiana, so he'll go up C&O and TP. And for us, that's the only thing that anybody has reported close by. Robert, how are you tonight, sir? And Mr. Chuck, it is great to see you. I hope you have everything under control. And I left you with the if desk. Good luck. Well, hello, QC1. Mr. Kid Outdoors. It is great to see you tonight. A little different angle tonight. A little different show. Maybe we can get Mama Bear and Tara and Jennifer a little better sunset from up here tonight. Right now, I plan on being with y'all till 8:30 Eastern Standard Time. Anybody trackside? Let me know. Well, that sounds like a plan. And I saw the Pennsylvania just went through, I think it was Trenton, probably 15 minutes ago now, headed up towards North Tunnel. And if we have anybody new on tonight, let us know. Don't be bashful. Join in. Let's have some fun. We are trackside live here on the last day of April in 2025. Tomorrow, May 1, where the April showers are now going to bring us May flowers. And I know Art and all of his crew will be ready to get rid of the showers in exchange for the flowers. So, anybody new, please chime in. Where are you at? Are you trackside? Etc. We only have a few rules. One, have fun. If y'all can't have fun, we are not hanging out here for the right reason. Two, if the scanner yaks, I try to stop so we can hear whatever is going on that we might be interested in knowing. And three, have a good time. Like I said, if you're trackside, let us know. Let your friends know. Whatever you see here is literally live. We're at Mobile Cam 2, Mobile Rail Cam number 2. It rolls around here in production number 6. Between Casey and I, we have an array of vehicles that we use. This is my most predominant one. And we even have a side-by-side for those we got to go to the middle of nowhere situations. And where we are right now is a very historic spot called Bootleggers Crossing. If you've never been here, just Google it and you'll see all kinds of information about it. There is no geographical marker. It's been handed down through generations of folklore that this used to be a hotbed of bootlegging activity involving the trains and everybody else back during the days of Prohibition. And under the cover of darkness, This is where they all came and hung out and did their after dark thing. Well, hello, AAA. What are you cooking tonight? Hey, Mama Bear. We moved up here tonight for a couple reasons. One, we just thought, it'd be fun to have a change of venue. Two, the sun is out for sure tonight. So once it gets a little bit lower and it's not glaring into the camera, we should have a beautiful sunset tonight. AAA, every time I see you come on, I wonder what's for dinner. And by the way, the quiche that we were all talking about the other night, it came out incredible. Penne pasta. Whoa, with red sauce. Yay. Everybody at AAA's house. It sounded like some good cooking there. And as you see, it's all, hey, Mama Bear and Mrs. S made some quiche the other night. Oh, let me tell you. Oh, still excited about it. That's how good it was. Let's see if I can show you all something here. I don't know, good quiche, Robert. It was just awesome. Right there. Let's see if we can do this, okay? Now we're at a whole bunch of magnification here. All I gotta do is think about moving the camera, and you can travel 20 feet. All right. There's two signal towers here, and just beyond the outbound signal tower coming out of Chattanooga, there are two diverge points. And those switches are controlled out of Atlanta. And that is switch one of the two that control the tracks for the diverge activity right there. And from up here, it doesn't look all that big, but from down there, we had a video where it malfunctioned. And I forget which one of the Heritage units had to stop and hold here, and they manually moved that switch. And then Switch Electronics came out and they worked on it and fixed it, but they had to stop a train here for a while and they worked on it. They did a number of different things. But that's one of two switches, so when you hear the diverge call, either that one has been activated or the one just a tad up to the left has been activated. Right on, you can just kind of see you can just barely see the bungalow in there between those trees, but right on the other side of that bungalow is where the other switch is. So, and if you've never seen how a train track gets a haircut, you need to watch our video about saw in the sky. And when the sun goes down just a tad more, I'll show you the outcome of what you get with a saw in the sky. here comes our first visitor of the night. And his dog's hanging out in the front seat. How fun is that? And once you get down there, AAA, fishing is not one of my favorite things to do. Now, if you're going to take me deep sea fishing, the most fun part is eating all them homemade sandwiches that Captain Jack has there on the boat. Because I don't care what kind of sandwich it is, it always tastes better. Oh, he's taking his dog for a walk. Here, let me all show you guys. See, this is just, we're kind of just hanging out in the neighborhood here. Pedro the dog, he's all happy he got to go play in the grass. It's like, I don't want to get back in the car. I want to play in the grass. More. Cute little fellow, look at that. He's not very big. And there goes the one-handed pickup, you guys. Did you see that move? Scoop the poop. Pooch. Oh, now he's back down. Pooch scoop. Like I said, you never know what the next piece of action is going to be up here. Lots and lots and lots of folks come here. Oops, that's too much there, sorry. All right, we're back to our outbound signal tower, which there's one, and then right after that, a couple blocks up, is the second one. And then after that, the track split off. Now, track 1 is the far right track. Track 2 is the one closest to y'all. Track 1, if you stay on it, that makes a right-hand turn and heads off to Atlanta on the Atlanta North End District. The left track, if you stay on it, goes straight out. It makes a left turn up by the water tower and heads on up to Knoxville. Don't let those two names give it away where they go to. And let's see, I'm not sure how bright this is going to be for you guys, but let's see if we can pull it off. We got the frame kind of in tight. And that is looking towards Chattanooga. And those little fuzzy specks that you see are tiny little, except for that great big B, are tiny little, I don't know, we'll just call them gnats, but they aren't gnats. And they're so small, I don't know how they can function. They must run off of a rubber band, is the best I can say. Like I said, we are looking straight into the sun. Not sure how bad that looks on your end, but for the moment, there. Let's QC 1 and 2. Are you able to see a good picture there? All right, Triple, I see you had a couple questions. Let me get to them here. Get on the right monitor, that would help. Hey, don't forget, this Saturday, May 3rd, in Decatur, Alabama, Rail Fan Day with the River City Railroad Group over at the Decatur Depot. Great group of folks. Make sure that you have plans to come on over. It's this Saturday, May 3rd, 2025. And Caleb has invited you all. All right, AAA, to answer your question, yes, I have one very spoiled female skipper key. And that's SCHIPPERKE. They're all black, very agile, very family oriented, incredibly quick, and very smart. She's 16 and very spoiled. Oh, hey you guys, look what's poking around the corner. Can y'all see it? It's like sneaking up on you. And I'm gonna guess he's gonna come around the corner and hold just short of that crossing because he probably has a northbound coming up from Atlanta. And just past here, the Atlanta North District goes single track. Look at that, he's sneaking up on y'all. So to answer your question, yes, AAA, I've had as many as 4 at one time on the Skipper Key family. But at the moment, we're down to just 1 because since she likes all the attention, we're not sure she's gonna do well if we get another one. All right, let's see if we can stay with this engine. Like I said, we're at such magnification. All I gotta do is think about touching the camera and you can travel a whole lot of footage. All right, he is on track 2 and he's coming around that bend. He'll come around far enough that he can see the signals, but he'll hold short of that crossing that I showed you guys. And like I said, chances are, because as we were talking, once, and that's why this is kind of a cool spot to rail fan at, is you have a lot of the traffic that has to stop here and wait because both Knoxville West End and Atlanta North District go single track at this point, after this point. So a lot of times the traffic coming out of Chattanooga has to wait for whatever is coming inbound to get out of the way. Now, we've not heard him call a number on the scanner. And AAA, to answer your other question about favorite food, filet with lobster tail and grilled shrimp. That is my number one all-time favorite. And I don't mind fishing. I just get, I don't know, I just get a little bored with the tangled lines and stuck on this and that and what have you. So if I've got idle time, give me a good old railroad track anytime. The birds are chirping and the squirrels and the deer are running, and if I get a train, it's like a bonus. I used to have a boat, slept 6. It was a 30-some footer down in Mobile, Alabama, down on Dolphin Island. And they tell you there's 2 happy days. The one that you get it, as you all know, and the one that you get rid of it. And boy, you have no idea. I didn't realize that salt water could eat so many things on a boat that are metal. Antique wood? Ugh. No, no, and double no. Now, since he is holding, y'all listen for horn, either coming down Knoxville West End or coming up Atlanta North. Crash, are you out with us tonight? Or Bag Squatch, are you guys with us tonight? I'm not so much into bird spotting, but I love our rail cam. In the mornings when I get up, I could care less if there's a train. I love having my morning coffee and sitting there listening to the birds on the bird cam. And since that's out in a bird sanctuary, you have one of every kind of bird you can imagine singing. Now, do I know one bird from another? Nope. But it is just so cool in the morning to have my maple pecan coffee from Starbucks in the K-Cup and sit there and listen to the birds. They're on the bird cam. That is my idea of a fantastic morning. Well, hi, Lucas. How are you? We were just talking about how cool it is to catch all the birds and not seeing them as much as hearing them on what y'all have nicknamed as the bird cam for our other rail cam that's live. And at night, for those of you who have watched that cam, once the sun goes down, yes, it is dark because Audubon Acres is a huge bird sanctuary. And it's also the origin point for the Trail of Tears, for those of you that didn't know. And in the morning, those little birds just sing their heart out. And it's not unusual to see deer and wild turkey on the tracks there, pretty regular. And surprisingly, some humans too. I'm trying to tell if that's a single locomotive there on the front that comes sneaking up on us. If so, there's a incredible possibility X29F holding to go south. So that would make sense that there's something coming up on Atlanta North. Bag Squatch or Crash or Pikes Peak, if any of you guys are on and you're down there at Howardsville Road, which is long, let us know. Yeah, I saw, we just talked about that a little while ago. Somebody had reported on the Heritage app that had gone through. We told Mama Bear and Papa Bear when they got action coming their way. They're out there in Lookout Valley. Oh, that's cool. Good job. Let me try and tilt this up just a scooch so y'all can see his light. Don't know if I can do this, but I'm going to try. There we go. And boy, that sure does look like one locomotive there. And if so, that's probably 29F sitting there. And if that sun gets too bright on the camera, you let me know, because it's getting ready for too long to drop down over the trees. And after that, it'll be an incredible sunset, I'll bet, tonight. All right, thanks, Chattanooga area rail fanner. He is a 29F look-alike. And where are you at? CAR, I'll just use that for short. where are you at trackside? If 29F is behind him, we got him stacking up here. Unless they're holding him to let 29F get around him. So see, there could be all kinds of possibilities here. So unlike our other spot around the corner where we hear the honk as they start, the double blow to indicate that the train's getting ready to move, here we'll see them holding and get to hear the double blow. We are up on somewhat of a cliff or a whatever you want to call it, hill. So we have a look downward upon the track. So, did you get any pictures? AAA of anything exciting today? Lucas, did you get pictures of 8102 when he went past? Lucas, if you want to send one to my Facebook, I'll show everybody. As you all know, technology and Mike struggle with each other. And Lucas, you have my Facebook address, so if you want to send me a picture, I'll show everybody here in a moment. And when Tara comes on, she's up there in Boone's Mill, Virginia. And Chattanooga area rail van, since you're kind of keeping an eye on the camera, you keep us posted on what else is headed our way, okay? Yeah, both Monday and Tuesday night it's been a little quiet this week. However, we had a lot of fun last night with both NS38, the brick, and the New York Central. So that was good times last night. Because someplace there is an auto rack train between TVRM and us here. So not sure where he's gone off to, but like I said, there is an auto rack train hanging out somewhere behind our intermodal train that we see there at idle. And like we talked, there's so many different avenues and possibilities that can occur here. You can see two trains going out at the same time, two trains coming in at the same time, one holding the cross, another holding the cross. It's kind of like Rubik's Cube. Here in a little bit, that sun's going to set behind those trees. And boy, is this going to be a picturesque spot. There goes our first responders. And again, all those tiny little fuzzy white spots you see are some incredibly tiny bugs. But at the magnification you guys are on, they look like they're the size of a fly. I'm not sure what Jesse's up to this evening. He was at work this afternoon, and I haven't heard from him since. Well, we can all take guesses. If you all want to start guessing, because most of you know the layout here, on why is he holding? Is something going to come around him? Or is something coming in up Atlanta North? There was... Yeah, there are a ton of ties strewing from here to towards Chattanooga. And Lucas, after we get done with 600 mark suction magnification and got it just right, when we get to a point where we move, we'll show everybody I'm assuming that's the Pennsylvania that you sent me. Kid Facebook page. Hang on, let me see. What is my Facebook page? I only use it when you guys send me pictures. Lucas, what's my Facebook page? It'd be quicker for you to tell me than for me to figure it out. Like I said, technology and Mike, very limited. As you all see, our picture's changing a little bit. The sun is just dropping behind him. Let me bring you all out just a tad. That gives you a little bit of an idea. The sun's just about to go behind those trees. All right, since most of you know the options here, let's see, possibility one is there's something behind him that they're going to let go past. Or something's coming up Atlanta North, or something's coming down Knoxville West End. So y'all can take your guesses, write them down. That way we can remember who said which. And thank you, everybody, for all the thumbs up. And make sure you tell your friends, hop on, because if they can't get out tonight or they just want to hang out, tell us what they saw, where they are, what they're doing. We can all just have fun, and everything you see literally is happening as you see it. 3 to 6 seconds, and all them little bugs are real. Waving to the rail crew down there, but I highly doubt they're going to give us a honk. But we tried. Well, hello, Tara. We just talked about... Let's see what's carrying on here in just a moment, y'all. Uh-oh. Tara, we just talked about getting you a great sunset tonight, and your S-curve, and your super large towel. Where traffic light activity is very, very limited. And you jumped on just in time. We're all trying to take guesses of why he is waiting. And we are at Bootleggers Crossing. If anyone's new tonight, please let us know. Nobody's going to bite, we promise. Everybody's going to behave, aren't you guys? QC 1 and 2 are going to be on the job. Robert's going to make sure we all behave. And Lucas has been out running along the rail tracks today. He got the Pennsylvania, you guys. Tara, you trackside tonight, or are you looking at the track from the apartment or from the house? Our whole show is going to be based on watching one train tonight. Maybe he's just camera shy. Ron. How are you tonight? Well, hello, Tony. Good to have you on tonight, sir. Trying to go your way here in the next couple nights. But every time I look at the weather report, they tell me it's going to be horrendously awful. But yet, we were supposed to be awful tonight. No way to be out here with y'all. And here we are waiting for an incredibly beautiful sunset. And as that sun drops behind, the picture has cleared up immensely here on our waiting train, where we all have different ideas what's going to be next. One passing him, something coming up Atlanta North, something coming down Knoxville West. You guys decide. Oh, here's an answer, guys. "29F, there he is. Sorry, that was a work call, y'all. All right. Lucas has sent his picture in. Check it out. Lucas chased and caught 8102 today. So there is Lucas's catch of the day. 8102 Pennsylvania Heritage locomotive for Norfolk Southern going through Trenton, Georgia, and he reported it on the Heritage app so you guys can go chase it as well. Good job, Lucas. Great catch today. And thanks for letting everybody else know so they could catch him too. And in the meantime, we're going to roll on back over here. Again, there's that crossing that we talked about. That is a private driveway crossing. Used to be Woodhaven Lane. And there's Buddy the Goat lives up there in those trees. Here, we're going to do something real quick here. All right, back to our waiting train. Let's see if they're going to roll him right behind 29F, you guys. And we're going to kind of leave it open framed so y'all can see the sun as it sets behind this train. And then once he gives us his double blast that he's going to roll, we'll key back in on him. Good job on the catch with the Pennsylvania today. Everybody, y'all tell Lucas, good job. Don't be bashful. As the train crew says, let's go. It'll be fun to see him start up when the time comes. Oh, we got authorization out of northbound. Just heard him on the scanner a moment ago. And he's from a startup, sounds like. The aroma of fresh Pennsylvania trash as the wind blows right at us. Gently, thank goodness. But hey, we got a huge wave. Woo! Does he stink? Oh my goodness. Yo! Oh, he does bring a whole new meaning to Stinky Pete. Oh, the aroma is coming across. Even the creosote from the tracks can't cover that one up. Whoa. And I am not exaggerating. Think of old dog food. Let me smell this. Yeah, think of old dog food that's been sitting in water and then left out on the porch for about 4 days at 80-degree heat. That's what that just smelled like. That's the best. Wow, that's the best picture I can paint for you, since y'all can't share this live moment with smell and sight. Woo. All right. Let's see if they're going to let him roll next. It's just hard to explain to you how bad that train stinks. And for those of you not familiar with the triangle, Crash is where we were last night. He's about 2 blocks to your left. And he got to pull up. He did his timing just as the Pennsylvania Express went through. 29F has already gone through. 29F is gone and rolling south. Should be halfway to Dalton right now. An unusual change up tonight. Had all the power on the head end and no UPS tonight on the rear. Well, it'd be kind of fun to watch them unload it. Well, I don't know if I can take the aroma. And you all know, Alabama's not exactly a cold place. We got likes. Interesting. A Smurf! Hey, Crash, what do you have for lights at the Y? I've got all reds here.
Keep on around. We're going to go north of tunnel for the floor.
now we have chatter on the scanner. Not audible, so a very good chance something's close. You hear anything down there, Crash? Here comes the sausages! Okay, ladies and gentlemen, we are quickly, and when I say the word quickly, I mean quickly, running out of light here at Bootleggers Crossing. If there's anyone on tonight that's new and you have any questions at all, please ask all of us. We'll be more than happy. Or if there's any questions about where we are or just anything at all, want you to feel at home, hang out with the gang. If you're trackside, as Crash was with us, Chattanooga area rail fan, he's watching the other end. We know someplace around that corner there's another eastbound headed this way, but right now our tower is a set of regs. And the reason the bootleggers like this area, because at night it's pitch dark, not much out here. And the cemetery's over behind us.
Dispatcher 26 over. 26 on 2 over.
Let's see what she's got to say. Well, Crash has a highball amber for us. So, as you can see, there ain't much light out here. If y'all want to stay put, I can see real quick if we can do something, but if y'all are going to stay, everybody raise your hand. If y'all are going to stay, we'll try and squeeze one more in. Since Crash has sounded the bell, done the alert, rang the bell, whatever it is. If y'all want to hang out, everybody let me know, and we'll go from there. If y'all want to say, y'all let me know if y'all going to hang with me. I'll try and hang with y'all for one more. Which that one will be coming up from Atlanta. That would be the one that Chattanooga Area Rail Fair just told us about. And Crash has Tony wants me to remind you, May 17th, everybody to come to Cowan for Railfan Day. And is there, back to my question for a little bit ago, I just saw your note, Ken. Is there anyone on tonight that's new? Don't be bashful. Ken will not bite. So if there's anybody new, raise your hand, let me know. If you have any questions, and since Ken wants to stay, there's not a whole lot to look at right this second, so it's going to take me a minute. So I'm going to throw you all up on the regs. All right, you guys got to get everybody to stay. What is it? If I stay, you stay. We all stay. Probably not a song, but it sounded good. Let's get, so you can see the camera does not like this time of the night. All right. There's that. Y'all give me a minute. Have I ever told you guys how spooky it gets up here at night? These guys over there at the cemetery start sending messages. We want to watch too. When's the next train? Oh, one of them just said they'll stay all night. That's a good offer. It's like he's got somewhere else to go. All right, you guys, don't look now, but there's one coming from both directions. Train 370 coming through Ottawa. 370. Now, since you all stayed this long, you can't leave one on the track. To my right and to your right, we've got one holding right around that corner. So, the lights are on, you're on, I'm on, scanner's on, X4 ons. Don't you all go anywhere, because if you stay on, That'll be 5 on. So we have one just around the corner. Like I said, you all saw his headlight. He's over there. Right there. And like I said, since it's dark out, it's hard to get much picture of him back there at all, or for the camera to adjust. This is with one set of lights on, so we'll see him come by. And there are your tower lights that we'll see go green when he gets cleared. Hello, Ain't Right. Good to see you tonight. Everybody talked me into staying for these 2 trains, so I'm glad you had the opportunity to jump on with us tonight. Crash, we've got one over here waiting. What do you got for lights over there? 18E, clear Udawan northbound. right, you guys and gals. All right, well, I just answered my own question. You can see me. All right. Hello, everybody. All right, here's the scorecard. It's 9:28 Eastern Standard Time. This is my job number 2, and I haven't had lunch yet from job number 1 this morning. That's 369 holding there. He has another northbound coming up on the Atlanta northbound on the Atlanta North District end, or the Atlanta District North end. So we're going to sit tight a couple minutes, but we're probably going to wrap this up just because Thursday mornings are my super early days. So well, we just answered our question. Horn. Chattanooga area rail fan? You should hear that horn I just did. All right, everybody. Let's listen, just in case I was confused. And then after 26C, this should be 26C coming our way. All right, everyone. Coming north, 26C. We'll go ahead and listen to the horn. And hear him on the scanner as 369 holds to our right. So 369 to the right, 26C coming at us. Bootleggers Crossing in the dark. With one set of lights up. We don't have everything out, just one set. I did not imagine being here with you guys this late. So, everybody, thanks for being here. As we get ready for the next one. everybody. It has turned out to be a great night. Thank you, everyone, for staying. I hope everyone had a fantastic time. Please tell a friend, a neighbor, a relative, someone that you used to know about how much fun rail fanning can be. And this is one of the ways you can do it when you can't be out. And everything that you saw tonight happened 3 to 6 seconds ago. So I'm not going to say see you at the next crossing yet, because while I pack, well, gee, we have a green highball, a highball green, going up Knoxville. A highball green up the Knoxville line. What do you think, you guys? Sorry, that was too much there.
Good afternoon, former 26C. Former Franklin 26C. numbers. Take a bus there. Got some police activity ahead of you. Alright, yep.
Another plane coming to Chattanooga, probably. Here's our glow eggs. That's what you call non-revenue producing train cars. Hey everybody! Thanks for hanging out and staying with me to after 10 o'clock Eastern Standard Time here on the last day of April in 2025. I'm going to swing y'all up to the lights. No matter what color happens, I gotta go. But I do have a little bit of packing to do, so I'm going to swing you to the lights. I appreciate Casey and I thank you and hope for being with us, and I hope y'all had a fantastic time as 288 rolls on past us. So, from Casey and I to all of you, thank you, be safe, be careful, have a fantastic May 1st tomorrow, and we'll close on the lights, and when I shut her down, I'll let you all know I shall see you guys at the next crossing as we start packing production unit 6. Here in Ottawa, Tennessee at Bootleggers Crossing, where, as you saw, Don said they are lined up here at the cemetery. There's production unit 6, the power unit, the workstation, and everyone that's hanging out with us over there. So, since the lights are going to go out in a moment, there's your last look at that. Up to those you go as we begin to pack. And then it will be time to tell you all we'll see you at the next crossing. So from Casey and I, we hopefully will see you tomorrow at the next crossing based upon what the weather's going to be. And then this weekend off to Decatur, Alabama for the Rail Fan Get Together, the River City Rail Club with Caleb and all the folks over there. They're just super nice. And thank you all. Have a good night. See y'all at the next crossing.